Hello, welcome to April's Coffee and Cards. So we're in 2022 and this month we're using the Beauty of Friendship bundle. So today I'm going to be using the stamps, just the thank you out of this, and then I'm using these dies for the details on this card. Okay, so in your kit you will have got 4 kits to make the card, so here's mine for this one. You'll also have got a little pack of DSP, so I've given you some 6x6 sheets of designer series paper. There's more here than you need for the cards. Some of the pieces that you need for the cards will already be cut up, but some of them won't, so you've got 1 of each piece of designer series paper. This will run out on the 3rd of May, so not much time left to get it, and it is a beautiful set, really good for male cards, quite masculine designs. And I just love, my 2 favourite patterns are on the same sheet, unfortunately. So that's the leaf with the misty moonlight and all the oranges and golds and greens, and then on the other side it's got basically the sky, which I really like that one. So anyway, you've 1 piece of each, so some of them you'll need for the cards, some of them you won't, so you can use them to make cards yourself. Okay, so we'll get cracking. So this is the first one. So if we just put things to one side, and so what you actually get in your envelope for this one is your envelope, your card base, a sheet of white for the inside, or a piece of white for the inside. This is for your foliage, this is for your tree, and then we get a piece of white, a piece of vellum, and then, because I know I had it a minute ago, you get a piece of mossy of Merry Merlot, which is this colour here. I'll find it. So this is your card base, really good neutral this. It's sort of a burgundy colour. It is in the neutral family, good for Christmas, good for autumn, good for any time of year. It's lovely spring and summer colour as well. Right, so let's get going. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is the die cutting. As you can see, there's quite a bit of die cutting to be done. So we'll just stamp thank you on here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There it is. It's wandered off. Okay, and I'll just get this block. And it doesn't necessarily have to be super straight, because you are going to die cut it, but it helps if it's, you know, starting off roughly straight. So I've lined it up on my grid paper. Someone was asking me the other day where I get this from. It's actually in the catalogue. It's in the accessories section, but it's really good because you can practice on it. I use the pad so that, you know, it gives a lovely flat surface for stamping on as well. I use it all the time in my classes, so but I use it at home too, and it lasts ages because it's got 2 sides. I like to do my videos, excuse my head, with a nice fresh piece, but I always keep each one and use it as scrap as well. So nice and simple again in the Merry Merlot, and then I am going to get my mini die cut and emboss. I use this far more than I ever thought I would. I got it because it was cute, obviously, and because we do things like that because we're stampers. And then I found that where it really comes into its own is if I'm preparing for a class and I need to do a load of small die cuts. It's really quick with these, or if I'm mass producing cards, it's much quicker than getting up over to my big one. And also because I've got it on my desk, it's just next to my desk all the time, so it's really easy to get as well. Right, so I'm just going to whiz that through. So we have a thank you. Oops. Okay, and now I'm going to cut my foliage out. I made this too big. I have. Let's just chop off a slice of this. going to pop this one through. So this is just going to give the foliage in the lots of lovely colours. Okay. There you go, you can see there all the detail on that die. I'll prick those out in a minute. Yep, same again. Now obviously you do need to do this fairly straight so that you have the lines of the trunk going in the right direction. So I'm going to give this a chop as well. So it'll go through the machine. Now, probably little pieces of DSP like that I give to nursery. I don't bother keeping them myself. So. And they are so pleased to get them every time I see them. Because I go and pick my granddaughter up from there once a week. And they're telling me all about all the things they've made with, you know, the bits I used to throw away. So it's brilliant. It gets a second life. And it, you know, she says it's such good quality. It's brilliant for them. So the little is. Okay, so I've cut that piece out, and then I need to cut my little banner piece out, and that looming piece of Merry Merlot that I had in my sticky little paw not 2 minutes ago has disappeared. Let's see if I've got any in my scrap envelope. I do. Going to chop a piece off this for, it'll turn up as soon as I've cut this out. The piece I'm looking for will turn up, because that's the way these things go. So I'm just going to die cut this, excuse me, this piece, and that will be all my die cutting done, and then we just need to build the card itself. And then this machine just folds up, just like that. And then I put it on top of the plates just on the shelf in the corner here. Ready for next time. Okay. So let's see. I'm just going to wiggle this out. There we go. Don't forget the big piece in the middle. And then we have this one, which again, just going to pop out those bits. You can use a poker tool or the die brush that you can get to go with the multi-purpose tool. Right, so that's done. Let's put those in the bin. Okay. There you go. And then to do the background for this, you will need one of your sheets from the Designer Series paper that I gave you. So, and it is this one. Okay, so, and it's just half a centimetre smaller than your card base, so it's 14.4 by 10 centimetres. Oops. Now, I was having a chat with one of my customers the other day, and she was saying that she doesn't like 6x6 paper because it's so wasteful, because you cut a front out and then what do you do with the rest of it? It's not enough to do another front. you know, 12 by 12 you can get 6 fronts out of, so it's really economical. But you can't do that out of the 6 by 6. So what I've said to her, and what I do, is I'll cut my front out of my 6 by 6 paper. But then you have this strip left, and this strip's great. It's really flexible. So what you can do, and what I tend to do with it, is I'll get my card base and I will put it to one side, either the whole way up the card, or I put a little border around it, and then you can add a sentiment, for example. So, oh, I've lost my ability to pick things up today. So you could do that. That's probably a bit small. You'd probably do something a bit bigger than that. You could even use your tree on just half of it like that and actually centre it so the tree's just over half of it. So you've got detail on the plain and detail on the pattern. So there's loads you can do. So this works out at 5.5 centimetres roughly when you've cut your 10 centimetres off. The other thing you can do is actually cut the 6 by 6 into 3 2-inch strips, so it'd be slightly narrower than that, but you could make 3 cards with this sort of design, this layout, quite easily out of a piece of 6 by 6. And so, you know, when you've got 48 pieces of 6 by 6 in a pattern, that's a lot of cards. Even if you're just doing 2 from each, that is still 98, no, 96 cards you could make out of one pack of DSP. So, you know, there are lots of things you can do with the 6 by 6. Not to say that I do still like my 12 by 12s, I must admit. Right, so now the way I've layered this card up is I've put the bones of the tree on first, then I've put the vellum on, then I've put everything else on. So I am going to glue this on first. So I'm just going to get my multi-purpose glue, and just a few dots here and there should do it. So, whoa, it's whizzing out. Oh, it's just a bubble, we're fine. There we go. So just little tiny weeny dots, just sort of scattered around. You don't want the whole thing flat, you know, it's some volume. It's been upside down for quite a few days because I've not crafted. Those of you who follow me on Facebook on my personal page will know that my son did his last ballroom and Latin competition at the weekend and came 5th in the Latin, which as a 17-year-old in the under 21s, I think it's quite impressive, frankly. So, and his partner's still only 16, so you know they did really well. She might be, oh, maybe she's 17 now. So you know, I've been rather busy. So there's been no crafting. I'm just going to lie that down because it's coming out rather quickly. Okay, then I'm just going to position this tree where I want it. I think I've gone a little bit higher this time because I think it's better going against the paler. Okay, it doesn't matter if you've not quite got all the branches because you are going to be sticking this on as well on top, and that's going to squish them down. Okay, so I'm now going to put the glue on here. Okay, so I'm just dabbing that little dots around. Now this is two-way glue, so if it doesn't, it's very clever, if it doesn't get exposed to 2 layers of paper, it dries sticky. So you do have to watch that you don't let it ooze out, and you can buy glue erasers that can actually, if it does ooze out, then you can get it off. But it means you can use it for things like sticking down stencils because you can use it as a semi-permanent adhesive if you let it dry. Which is why it's called two-way glue or multi-purpose glue. To help if I had it the right way round, and don't do that with it. Okay, so there we go. So I want it covering the top branches. Okay, so that is just going over the edge slightly. There we are. And here we have a glue eraser opportunity because I did drop it there. So we used to sell them at Stampin' Up. We don't anymore, but you can still buy them off the big shop that begins with an app. And that's decided. But it's like it's a sort of a browny orange colour. No, it's disappeared. How bizarre. Anyway, it's like a browny orange colour and it just rubs off the excess glue. So the next thing I'm going to do now is position the vellum. So, and I'm going to do that when I find the trouble with vellum, it does disappear. So it's going to go across about there. So, and what I'm going to do first of all is put some adhesive on this side. So I'm using my snail here, which is nearly run out, so I'll be able to get some new stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to position that where I want it, which is about there. Make sure we're straight. See, again, that's another good use for the old grid paper. Okay, so it is actually sticking to the little bits of glue I had on there. Fold it over and stick it down. And then do the same on the other side. So I'm just putting a little bit of snail. And then I am just folding it over, making sure that it's nice and tight. You don't want it flapping. Okay, so there we go. So there's my vellum. And then I'm going to take my thank you and put a few dots of glue in the middle at the back. So just along the centre line. And again, using my grid paper, I'm just going to line that up straight-ish. Straight, and then add on the die cut piece along the back. So we're just about 1 centimetre either side. Looking at that. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to pop that up on some dimensionals. So, just going to put a couple on either end. If you're sending it through the post and want to, you could put a couple of mini dimensionals right on the end just to give it a little bit more purchase. And then I'm going to attach that in the middle of the vellum on the front, and there we go. Okay, and now it just remains to add this onto the front of the card. So again, using my glue. The reason I folded the vellum around the back as well, so you can't see this, you can see the tape there through it. Not so much on dark colours, but this is quite pale, so the tape shows through, so you do have to be careful when you're working with vellum, just exactly where you put your glue. I need to hide it. There is specific vellum glue, and Stampin' Up don't sell it, and I bought some, and I found that if I sent anything through the post, the blinking vellum, whatever had stuck with the vellum glue fell off. So I don't use it now. I'm just more careful where I put the glue so it doesn't show. Okay, and then I'll pop the insert in. And that's probably why Stampin' Up don't sell vellum glue. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed this. It's still available at the moment. I would say, although the tree stamps are coming into the new catalogue, the dies aren't. So if you do want to get the dies that go with the stamp and you haven't got them already, you need to get them before, well, as soon as possible, to be honest, because once the stock runs out, then you won't be able to get them at all. So that is the beautiful trees dies. So I would have a look at those. They might even have some money off. Okay, so there we go. So there's our first card in the series. and I hope you've enjoyed it. I shall look forward to seeing you next week. Please do a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, and leave a comment too. It all helps with the algorithm. If you haven't already subscribed, then just click the subscribe button, which is a lovely picture of my face, sorry about that, and I shall see you all soon. Take care. Bye.